I want to share with you my own experience. I'm flat-footed. And there are a lot of people that are flat-footed. And I think for decades, we have been fed all this myth and fallacy about being flat-footed. When I was growing up, because of my flat feet, the podiatrist told me I have to wear shoes because I don't have an arc that puts an arc on the sole of my feet, on the middle of the foot. Imagine putting a rock in your shoe and walking around with that rock in the middle of your shoe. That will hurt. So for decades, I was wearing these running shoes with an arc on my shoe, in my shoe. And then what I noticed with that was my feet will always hurt. And they said my feet hurt because I have flat feet. It was so bad that I could walk a few miles, and at the end of the day, I would have to lift my feet, have it massaged, get a massager. I had to buy a massager. And I lived with this pain in my foot, in my feet, for decades, that I did not do any sports anymore. Until one day I learned boxing. And when I learned boxing, I had to buy boxing shoes. Boxing shoes, as you all know, is completely flat. There is no cushion in the heel. And because of that, in boxing, the reason it's flat is because you have to be on your toes or on the balls of your feet. You have to have good lateral movement. You have to be able to feel the ground. That's why it's flat. And the flatter it is, the better. So what happened was, with the boxing shoes, one day I had to start jogging and running because of my boxing. And I did not have running shoes because I got rid of all of them because I hated all of them. When I started running with my boxing shoes, I ran the first time for 5 kilometers. And at the end of the 5 kilometers, I did not have any pain in my feet. Then I started wondering, why is it that I'm wearing these shoes that are completely flat with no cushion and I have no pain? I started researching on it and I discovered barefoot running. I discovered minimalist shoes. And I said to myself, wait, there's something here. The problem with the shoes, the modern day running shoes, are that they have such thick cushions on the heel and it drops this way with the cushion at the heel, the thick cushion, that people started running wrong. They started running heel strike. You're hitting the ground with your heel, and the heel is like stabbing the ground with a bone, a hard bone. Imagine doing this with my hand and it hurts. Imagine the whole body weight is falling on one foot for thousands of times, repetitively. Even when you have that cushion, there's all that impact going up your leg, which causes a lot of damage, okay? And it's because you have a cushion that you start running on your heel. So I realized when I started running on with my boxing shoes on, I was running on the ball of my feet, and what was happening? My feet were landing and the mechanism of the ankle was starting to move, cushioning the blow, cushioning the impact. My toes were cushioning the impact because all the impact was spread on the ball of my feet with all the muscles and all the ligaments and all the bones all catching all that impact versus one bone catching the impact like stabbing the ground. This one was like landing it, spreading out the impact. And I ran my first 21K with a minimal running shoe, and after 21 kilometers I had zero pain on my feet. So the lesson I'm trying to tell you is this: don't wear shoes with those arcs, support, stability. You don't need it when you're flat-footed. Just don't run on your heel. Don't land on your heel. If you land on your heel, you're going to need it because you're going to pronate, because when you land on your heel, it pronates because there's nothing holding it together. But when you land on the ball of your feet, the whole foot will land and support it, that it doesn't roll in or out. You could research on this actually if you want. Stop with a heel strike. That's not natural. We were born to run, and when we run, we used to run barefoot, and when we land on the balls of our feet and not on the heels. And when you do that, you will have no more pain on your feet like I did.